Mick Schumacher excited fans last year when he signed on to drive at Haas, with supporters of his old man delighted that another Schumacher would be back in F1. But fans of the sport in general would have been horrified recently after Schumacher's car seemingly split in half after a horror crash. Today we're discussing Schumacher's car splitting in half after a horrifying crash at the Monaco Grand Prix. Stay tuned. First up, let's take a quick look at Schumacher's career so far. Schumacher Jr. decided to follow in his great father's footsteps and get involved in racing from an early age, starting in karting like so many others. He did well in the sport, receiving plaudits from the press and others in the know before moving on to Formula 4, completing test drives for Genzer. In 2015, he began racing in the Formula classes for the first time for Van Amersfoort Racing before moving on to Prima Power Team the next season, who are known for their close links with Ferrari. A move into Formula 3 soon beckoned, spending the next 2 seasons there, continuing his alliance with Prima, before moving into FIA Formula 2 for 2019 and 2020, where he impressed enough for Ferrari, incidentally the team with which his dad is so synonymous, to offer him a place at Ferrari Driver Academy. At the time, he cited the bond between the Schumacher family and the Ferrari team as his motivations for joining, while simultaneously racing for Prima in Formula 2. A call to the big leagues then materialized, with Haas offering the German a drive for 2021, alongside Nikita Mazepin. However, following sanctions against Russian drivers affecting Mazepin, Schumacher is now partnered with Kevin Magnussen. But the younger Schumacher hasn't fared too well this season, and is currently one of only 3 drivers yet to score any points so far this term. What have you guys made of Schumacher Jr.'s career so far? So, what happened in Monaco? Stay tuned to find out. Well, the scenes in Monaco after Schumacher crashed recently were nothing short of shocking. The German driver's car literally ripped in half after he lost control coming into the swimming pool section, having switched tires thanks to poor weather conditions. Thankfully, Schumacher was fine, but other drivers on the track were shocked to see the damage caused to the car and how much debris was spread across the track. Pierre Gasly, who races for AlphaTauri, said, "When I saw the gearbox completely out, it was quite shocking," before going on to explain that bringing out the red flag was the right thing to do. He also mentioned how at first he was pretty surprised that they didn't bring out the physical safety car, as organizers chose to deploy the virtual safety car instead. And Gasly wasn't the only driver to comment on the terrifying incident. Sebastian Vettel, who himself was mentored through his early career by Mick's father Michael, said, "It's so easy to get it wrong so quickly. I don't know exactly what happened to him, I haven't seen it. The main thing is he's okay." And of course that is the main thing, and Vettel went on to suggest the media need to get off his back, but that he's definitely capable of more. Schumacher's crash would have been a scary sight for most drivers, who of course know the risks, but never want to see something like that happen. What did Schumacher himself have to say about the crash then? As you can imagine, he was pretty shook up by the incident, describing it as weird when asked about it after the race. And of course, these things do happen, but Schumacher will no doubt have been worried about how poorly his car seems to have held up in an accident, which might affect his racing going forward. If he isn't comfortable in his car's ability to hold up in a situation such as Monaco, then that could easily impede him from racing as hard as he might if he had complete confidence in the car. The young driver went on to say, "From what I saw on the video, it just seemed like we were 10 centimeters further out, and that kind of triggered maybe a wet patch or whatever with the front wheel, which then translated into a rear wheel slide. That's where basically the rear came around. I tried to correct it, and that's why it went to the left. It's very, very unfortunate and very annoying. There should now be an inquest into what exactly caused the car to break up so badly, which will no doubt be reported on in the coming days and weeks." What did you guys make of Schumacher's crash? Let us know your thoughts below. Next up, an old Michael Schumacher record will be beaten at Azerbaijan this weekend. Fernando Alonso, himself a 2-time world champion, is set to beat a long-standing Michael Schumacher record this weekend, as the F1 calendar makes its way to Baku. Alonso has 3 top 10 finishes to his name so far this season and has proven that even at 40, he's still a danger to the rest of the field. The last race at Monaco was the 340th time Alonso had gotten behind the wheel in Formula 1, which leaves him just 10 races off beating Kimi Räikkönen's record of most races by one driver. If he competes in every race until the end of the season, he will surpass Räikkönen's record by October 2nd. But should he race this weekend, and there's no reason why he shouldn't, he will surpass another legend's record. Michael Schumacher currently holds the record of the longest F1 career, which saw his career stretch across 21 years and 3 months exactly. But by appearing in Azerbaijan this weekend, Alonso will have been racing for 21 years, 3 months, and 8 days, which means he started racing F1 when Mick Schumacher was just 2 years old. Alonso has had a fantastic fantastic career, and when he does eventually call it a day, he can look back proudly on what he's achieved. And hopefully there are a few more records left to break yet. What have you made of Alonso's career? Daniel Ricciardo has responded to recent criticisms now. Stay with us. Ricciardo felt the wrath of his bosses recently after McLaren CEO Zak Brown suggested he wasn't particularly pulling his weight for the team. Brown has made it clear that the team aren't particularly happy with the Australian's performances so far this season, having only scored 11 points, while teammate Lando Norris has outpointed him by 37 points. And Ricciardo seemingly had the bit between his teeth this week, saying, "The reality is, I've not forgotten how to drive in 6 months. I haven't lost my competitive edge. It's just kind of a moment in time that I knew I could come out of. You're always going to get people saying this and that. It is what it is. It's up to me in the car to prove them wrong." And while this all might be true, he really needs a big performance in Azerbaijan this weekend to silence his detractors. Of course, this might have been Brown's way of motivating him, as he seems to have gone seriously off the boil as of late. So we'll have to see what happens come Sunday. All eyes are sure to be on Ricciardo when qualifying begins on Friday, but some have even suggested that it might now be cheaper for the team to give him some time off, keep paying his contract, and putting someone else in his drive for the rest of the season, which seems a little harsh. What do you guys make of Ricciardo's poor form this season? And finally, it seems like Sergio Perez could be in the doghouse. Perez was filmed gyrating up on a mystery woman at a party following his Monaco Grand Prix win a couple of weekends ago, which has prompted a groveling apology to his wife. The Mexican was caught out following footage of his exploits at a yacht party emerging online, which showed him getting a little too up close and personal with another partygoer. And the Red Bull speedster has now been forced to apologize and take responsibility, whilst also suggesting that he and his wife, Carola Martinez, are more united than ever. The video was definitely not a good look for the man who has his eyes on the F1 title this season, and he recognized such in an Instagram statement in which he said, "I've seen the videos that have been circulating about me and I take responsibility for it." The man, who's currently sitting number 2 in the driver's standings, went on to explain how it was a bad party before saying, "I didn't know how to control the height of the person that I am, but it was just that, a very bad party." Sounds like a poor excuse to us. Perez explained that those who are close to him know the sort of person he is, before suggesting that his values are what he should be judged on. Not cool, Sergio. As always, thanks for dropping in today, and don't forget to tune in next time for some more fun and games. And why not do us a favor by liking and sharing today's video, while also sharing our video with any petrol heads you might know of. Bye, guys.